player.
So another Twitter question from NKBV. He asked, "What are the editing features in the theater mode?"
What is
can we? I guess he's asking like, what sort of camera angles and stuff can they do? Like, what sort of things can they do if they want to make like a badass video themselves that they want everyone to see on YouTube?
Right. Yeah. The editing feature and all that are very similar to what you've had in the previous games.
Right, where you can switch between players, you can follow specific players, you can zoom out in the third person.
Exactly.
You can speed up, you can slow down, you can rewind.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems pretty robust. Do you know how many replays you can have saved at a time, or is it like it records like your most recent few matches?
Let's see exact numbers. I think it's...
Did we change them from Black Ops?
We may have. I think from in-game, in your Vault, you can have... I want to say 10.
Okay.
Yeah, in-game you can have 10, and then you can also put 10 online in Elite, which can be different, so for a max, but you're going to want to upload the 10 you want to keep to Elite, because after 10 it starts overwriting in game to your whatever your most recent is.
Josh, can you help us out here?
Nope.
No.
Pretty confirmed. I think so.
I just wanted to see if he knows.
He's not paying attention. He's not even playing well at the game. You expect him to play well and talk to us?
You gotta stick that claymore right in his back.
So obviously, the waves aren't just people; they're dogs as well. And the dogs start off just being like, if they can get close to you to hurt you. But you also said that eventually you see dogs that are wearing explosives.
Kamikaze dogs.
They're motors.
So right now, I mean, how crazy do the later waves get? Is it eventually like tons of enemies, like swarms?
They get fairly insane.
I found it at 23. It was insane. It was just
when you get to the point that you have multiple juggernauts who are trying to flank you from different flanks, and you have infantry you're trying to deal with, and the enemy have already laid claymore defensive around, and you have to keep all this in mind, because like what you do in the later waves is you're listening, because the announcer will say what's coming in to the player. He'll say, all right, we got intel that there's enemies with C4 strapped to their chest, or we have dogs on the way, or we have heavily armored units. So in the later waves, because you're so frantic and constantly fighting, you're trying to listen to that and make a mental checklist of, okay, what do I need to be prepared for? Did I hear him say that enemies are laying explosives? Should I be watching my corners, as well as trying to run away from a juggernaut?
Spec Ops also has varying difficulties as well, right? Like, you can play it on normal if you want to be a hardcore person and try it on, really high damage. You can do that as well.
Yeah, you don't set your difficulty like you do single player, but the survival maps are broken up into different sections of difficulty.
And obviously each has their own. Every map has its own leaderboard as well. Correct?
Yes.
Getting back to what Rob was talking about a little while ago, I've also found that as I go deeper into the waves, that my strategies or my techniques will change. Meaning, I'm very aggressive in the beginning, kind of wading out into the guys, and or as partners wading out. After that, there are just too many, and they're too good, and you find that you're sometimes in quite a defensive mode.
So right now, they have two juggernauts coming at them, and they're coming from two different angles.
Assault juggernauts.
Yeah. So what I think they're trying to do is lead the two juggernauts to get on the same path. That way, he can use his one predator missile to take them out.
I think that's giving Josh too much credit.
I can hear Mike leading the show.
Yeah, okay.
Even still, that still seems like it's really quite hard to do.
See, he's using Josh's bait, which is I approve of as a tactic. Here they come. Here they come. Here they come.
Job.
There they are. Do it. Fuck them up.
Wow.
Nice.
Yep.
Man, I didn't even realize that.
Good.
So that really does make the money way worth it. Predator missile's expensive, but
so you spent $3,000 to take out two juggernauts, which probably meant you didn't waste all your ammo. So now you don't have to spend the $750 to redo your ammo. You're a genius, Mike. You're gonna be so hot right now.
So a Twitter user, lol, it's you again.
Whoa.
He asks, have you guys ever considered a map creator or editor? For the game. I mean, people obviously mod the PC version,
right?
But as far as console versions go, there's never been the ability to necessarily, change and create your map on its own.
Yeah, it's not something we've ever looked at for like the console versions. just because it's just something we don't have, the bandwidth for from a development time and schedule that the majority of our users would get out of, because we want to focus on gameplay features that everybody can benefit from, and that's just something that has never made the list yet.
That being said, private matches now being able to change up the recipe of what's going in,
exactly.
Which guns spawn,
yeah.
I mean, which guns that people can use, which guns they can't.
Yeah.
That obviously goes into a degree of that.
Yeah, and then that's gameplay focus, You can't create your own maps, but you can go in and fully customize the gameplay experience, customize the rule sets of any mode you want, create your own modes. You have the flexibility to do that.
Going through some upgrades. Remember, guys, if you want, you can send in your questions to us at twitter.com/IGN with the hashtag MW3. You can also enter to win a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 limited edition Xbox 360 with a copy of the game if you go to facebook.com/IGN and become a fan and like us. You can also, for future Call of Duty updates and news, follow us on facebook.com/playing Call of Duty, and you can follow us on twitter.com/Call of Duty IGN. We're also still giving away more copies of the game, some Gunner Optics glasses, Turtle Beach headsets, custom PS3 controllers, or at least, Modern Warfare themed PS3 controllers. So there's a lot still to be won, and more multiplayer to see down the line. We're in Wave 17 of Spec Ops Survival Mode. A couple of the guys from Activision playing, and currently doing all right. They're doing all right. This is 17 is where it starts to get really difficult.
They're doing decent.
Mm-hmm. They're doing decent, huh?
I'm waiting for the dead weight of Josh to pull Mike down, but they're doing all right so far.
Yeah, I find that this is when you start fighting the guys that are starting to wear quite a bit of body armor. Yeah. One grenade won't necessarily even take them out. It might.
One knife doesn't take them out.
Yeah. It seems like, though, if you're using the knife in Spec Ops, it's not that great. It seems like it
helps in the first few.
Yeah, the early waves.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems, once you're using the knife, it seems like you've gotten pretty desperate if they're getting that close.
Definitely. You do not want them up close in survival.
I have a question, just in case. I'm just curious if you know. Can you be killed by your own box? Can you be downed by it if it falls on you?
You can be killed by it. Yeah, a care package does damage.
Yeah, that is the most insulting thing ever. When I've killed a dude that called in a care package, ran up, and had it drop on my head, and still kill me.
Pretty embarrassing.
So, wow, what just happened? So did someone call in was that a gunship that they called in?
So he's marking that purple smoke is marking where the AC-130 should fire. So see, they have an AC-130 in the air, and then he throws that down, and it will fire.
Help clean up.
Yeah, it's awful.
It was awesome.
It takes some skill to get that sucker there too.
Are any of the weapons that you guys have included in the game, are they any of them not actually currently in use, but more cutting edge, like this is what people are about to end up using? Like, for instance, I noticed you have an AA-12 in here. That's a very relatively new weapon.
The XM25.
Yeah, we talked about that a lot, which is being used. Maybe?
There's some sniper rifles that we have in multiplayer that are not yet in consumer hands that we had the weapon manufacturer bring to us.
I was gonna say, so do you guys actually get to see these guns in person, hear them fire, do all the really, the fun things in life, like
or fire them?
Yeah. We try to.
Is the dual scope being widely used?
I think only
because we heard that from Delta. Right?
Yeah, Delta operators.
Yeah, I think the dual scope's actually a really cool feature. If you're not aware of what that is, it's basically an ACOG scope that you can flick off the back half of it, and then it becomes like a red dot.
Yeah, it's a holographic
to an ACOG.
Yeah.
I mean, even something like the the flashbang. We've got the 9-bang in there, and that was from Delta going. We don't use the flashbang. We use the 9-bang thing.
Nice. It's a nice.
I have to say that I may write about video games for a living, but I definitely envy the stories where when you guys get to say, we went to France to do research to make sure we made these things look right, or we got to shoot these really cool guns.
Yeah.
I'm sure those are the days where the job is totally.
It's a great. It's a great way to make a living. I mean, you're creative all the time. You're following your passion. I mean, it's hard work, but I wouldn't give it up for you.
But you get to blow shit up sometimes.
So
get to blow shit up.
Twitter user D_Thomas 32920, probably his zip code. He writes and he says, how will server selection work? He says, I heard it would change hosts after every match.
No, it doesn't change hosts. It wouldn't randomly change hosts. What the game does is it will always be looking for the best host. So if it determines that there is now a better host to improve game quality, then obviously it's going to switch to that host. In between matches, it wouldn't dynamically do that during the middle of the game, unless the original host left, of course, and then it'll try to find the best.
Do you know on the PC version, is it also using hosts like peer-to-peer, or is it?
You have an option for both, so you can match make into public lobbies on the PC, or you can use the server browser to find a dedicated server that you want to join. And obviously, a dedicated server is not peer-to-peer.
Would you guys have 3 on that one?
Yeah, 3. This is I know this
nice.
is wow, nice job. So they're now like 2 waves from the farthest I've ever been. So another Twitter question from Trevor93. He says, has the Call of Duty engine made any improvements, like new graphical effects or optimization?
Oh yeah, if you look at the game right now, if you A/B'd it with 2, which was a beautiful game, you would see that the graphical fidelity is, we have so much more detail in it. We're able to build levels that we talked about before that are, not only have a slightly bigger footprint, this way, but now we go vertical. So we've got bigger levels. We've got more animation in there. We've upgraded the audio system. We've made better tools, and some of that's behind the scenes. But what that does is allows us to iterate quicker and quicker and quicker. And we're fitting a lot more in each and every level right now. We've got more characters in a level than we had before, more textures in a level, more polys. I mean, it's funny, people talk about the engine being 10 years old, and that's sort of the very basic.
Right, I mean, a core framework might be one thing, but it can be modified into something wholly different, really.
Oh, we're constantly doing that. We're reworking the AI system.
There we go. The fad.
Well, Trevor93, to better see those enhanced graphics and everything they've changed, you are getting a pair of gaming glasses from Gunner Optics, Modern Warfare 3 branded.
Way to go, Trevor.
Yeah.
What was that, Trevor 20?
Trevor 93. So
93.
I have a feeling he's quite young. It's probably the year he was born. Makes me feel like an old man, and I'm pretty young. So.
Unless he's 93.
So that's true. He could be probably the oldest Call of Duty player.
Right.
Do you guys ever get any sort of information about that, like demographics that play? I'm just curious. Like
we get some demographics, but I think that's still. What we get is sort of anecdotal stuff. I mean,
sure.
people come up to me all the time and will say, this is the one game I play with my dad, or my uncle plays, and I don't know what the demographic is, but it's huge.
I know
when you get to this many people, it obviously
it's extremely wide.
Yeah.
The demographics for Call of Duty.
Yeah, I mean, this is the one game every year that even my dad asks, "Hey son, I saw a commercial for this new Call of Duty game." He knows Call of Duty names very well.
See, now he's using the fad, the weapon I was talking about earlier, that these super heavy armored guys come in with. And the one thing you want to do once you get an enemy weapon is try to be near the weapon armory so you can buy ammo for it, because they never have a lot.
Could this be the Josh moment?
It happens. So I just want to tell you, as high as I ever get, not bad. I think now here in a couple of minutes we're going to switch back up to some multiplayer to close out the live stream. By close out, I still mean you have an hour and a half to send in your questions to twitter.com/IGN, #Modern Warfare 3.